Let's show for the second time Sweaty Balls.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beaver Pond Players proudly present Sweaty Balls.
Balls, 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 sweaty balls, 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 sweaty.
We love to walk the streets of town on hot and muggy nights. Our faces never with a frown, those glorious summer sights. For when the air is sticky, it affects men old and young. For things start churning quickly, and all appear to be hung. It's a very manly condition, one that we so admire. An almost certain aspiration that sets our loins on fire. Balls!
Balls, sweaty
balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls.
I love the man who winds his stance, his scrotum isn't tight. I get to see his balls dance to the left and to the right. With his hands inside his pockets, I'll watch him tug and tug. It's almost like he's scratching at a bug. The scratch may start above the belt, but lower down the itch is felt. When they swing both to and fro, it's proof he's going commando. Balls.
sweaty
balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls.
The problem isn't shrinkage, the opposite is true. Osmosis is so present, I took biology too. The small ones get humongous, the bigger ones get grand. If they'd only stop to let us, we'd give them all a hand. So that's our sordid story, we swear it all is true. So when you go out walking, we'll be looking out for you and your balls.
Sweaty
balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, 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 sweaty balls. That's balls, folks.
Oh, Jack, come on in.
Here I am.
Jack, congratulations. That is so super. So I'm curious. I wrote that maybe 15, maybe 20 years ago, performed it once, and then put it aside and never did anything. And then a couple of months ago, I sent it to you. And what did you think when you got those words?
Well, I saw the one and only performance that had happened about a decade or so ago.
You were there.
I was there at that LeMay show, and I remember you had a ukulele in hand and made it through that crazy song. I don't remember how it went at the time, but when you sent me the lyrics, I just read them, and immediately I thought of the melody for it, because you asked, I've got these lyrics, can you think of a melody? And I'm like, oh yeah, I can do something with that.
How long did it take you to put the song together? Just not the video, but just the melody and the words and everything.
Well, looking at the page and then structuring the chords was a very quick process. And that one, it came, it just sort of, it sang to me, Amber. Your lyrics sang to me, and I was able to structure the chords. I'm like, all right, well, this verse part is happening here in a minor key, and then I can flip that and in the chorus turn that into the major key. So the verse happens in F minor, the chorus happens in F major. And then as far as getting the recording done, that was all done in GarageBand. I'm doing all of the vocal background pieces. There's about 5 different vocal parts. There's a low, a middle, a high harmony, and then there's a higher one on top of that. And then there's the falsetto, and each one of those parts has 6 to 8 vocal tracks. So we're talking about 30 to 40 background voices.
And the actual only voices that are heard are yours and mine. Is that correct?
Yep. You're doing the lead, and I'm doing all of the background stuff.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your musical history. Where did you learn to write and put all that together? How do you do that?
Just by thinking about chords a lot. I know music, and I used to just sort of try to put myself to sleep by thinking about scales, and just I have a hard time sleeping. So I'm like, well, what's the most boring thing I can think of? And the answer is just really complicated music theory. And along the way, I've played guitar for several in orchestras for lyric theater shows and for other shows as well, both in Vermont and in New York. My first gig when I came to New York was playing guitar for an off-Broadway production of Rockabye Hamlet, a rock opera about Hamlet.
How did you come about the ideas? You visualized the video. I mean, you directed it, you choreographed it, and how did you think? Okay, how do I put this on video?
There were a couple of things that I thought about. Well, one was wanting to do both indoor and outdoor shots, and everything that you see is, in fact, scripted. There's nothing that really is, well, what if we just sort of imagine that we did that? So I just wrote a 6-page script based on the lyrics and based on the music that I had already written, and figured out, well, we need to have some choreography for some sort of a kick line, because everybody loves a kick line. So this is just how I figured out how to do the choreography and what it could possibly and potentially look like. And I want to give a really big shout out to John and Marianne Gravel and also Matt Benedetto for helping to lend props to this video.
Yes.
Matt Benedetto, he has the unnecessary inventions, of course, and he lent us the corn, the Cob Quicky, I think it's called. I call it the corn butterer, but it's the oversized pan for buttering corn. And the Gravels, they lent us the cones and their grandchildren's balls, the balls and volleyballs. So I was sort of hoarding them like a dragon for a few days, and I guess the grandkids just had to read books.
No, we had it was a Saturday afternoon here in Burlington. We were out at our friend Cindy and Bones' house for the outdoor shots. Then we came over here to my studio and did the indoor with the green screen. And it was just a great day. You were well prepared, and it was fun. we laughed a lot.
As you know, summers in particular in Vermont are very precious, and it was a really otherwise pretty beautiful day, so I really wanted to just make good use of everyone's time and not feel like, well, we could have been doing chores, and that would have been a better spent Saturday. So we did I feel like we started with the most difficult things at first and just eased our way into the more easier things. We started by doing the kick line choreography. Yes. I figured that would probably provide the most frustration, and it would be best to get that out of the way first so that we could do everything else. And after all, this is the joke that it is, Sweaty Balls, we're trying to make some high art here. And I'm going to name drop Georges Seurat, not just because Stephen Sondheim just died, but that middle section where, Lucibelle's whacking you over the head with the croquet mallet, that was inspired by Georges Seurat, Sunday in the Park painting.
that was very, very good. Okay, so what's the next? Well, my dream is to have Bette Midler sing that song. I think it's just a Bette Midler song waiting to happen.
Well, we have to find her on TikTok somehow, and that's part of what all of this is good for. We really enjoy having people watch the show and comment in. I feel very sheepish sometimes when people say, "Oh, what are you up to?" I'm like, well, I just made this music video. What's it called? Oh, it's got a name. So, but I think that's we're in a good time to do that sort of thing. We don't really have to beat around the bush, as it were. So we can make a video and call it Sweaty Balls. But to try to get some more popularity, it helps by having people like and share and subscribe. And I know that we say that a lot, but it really does help to get more draw so that we can have Bette Midler or Cher or whomever do some sort of ballad version or a club remix or what have you.
What would you like to see happen to? What would you like to see happen to the song?
I would love to see somebody turn it into some kind of dance remix, and if it gets played on a float at Pride, I think that's that's a good sign. So shoot for the moon, and if you miss, grab onto a star.
All right.
Kind of taste.
What's some of your other projects you're working on, Jack?
I think I can talk about this. I can dodge around the details, but in broad strokes, I recently wrote a song for an independent film that is going to be shown soon. More than that, I can't provide details on that. I've recorded an EP with my band, Space Tenants, and that is going to be released in a couple of weeks.
Well, you know where you can show it, right here, any Sunday night
on Amber Live.
Yes, you have controls. You can just knock me off the screen and play whatever you want, actually.
I know. I'm doing this right now. I'm clicking on all the buttons.
All right. You've been pushing mine. Well, thank you, Jack. We'll have you back in a few minutes. But thank you so much. Great job with the song. Really appreciate it. All right.